Cree Indian name poem. These are some past Indian names from former students. What do these names have in common? What are these? These are brief descriptive names for former students. Dances with Wolves stands with fists. These names might be familiar for you from the movie Dances with Wolves. These are actual Indian names. Here's an example of a Cree Indian poem entitled Energy of the Whiteboard. Feel free to pause the video, or please do pause the video, and go ahead and read this poem. Notice that it's at least 7 sentences long. These sentences are for the most part broken into 2 lines, so that it is 14 lines total. Also notice that it's told in third-person point of view using she and her. Again, go ahead, pause, and read through this poem. As you read, did you find the examples of rhyme, connotation, simile, hyperbole, kenning, personification, parallelism, and repetition? Don't forget, you are to use examples of sound and figurative language. Be sure to underline the figurative language and note what figurative language you're using in the poem. Here you have a rhyme, corn door. Here you have a consonance. That's that M sound, the R sound used throughout. Notice roam, round, and room. You also have a simile, like a child that ate too many jelly beans. There's a hyperbole, noting that your work will tower over her. There's a kenning, a desk occupant. Also, there's personification. Can crayons and colored pencils and markers really be a best friend? Notice the parallelism here. And then repetition here. Decide what their Cree Indian names would be. Mr. O.C., Officer Pope, or Mr. Williams. Here's some names for Officer Pope. Dances with Danger, Spirit of Solutions, and Priest Police. And Mr. Williams, he is the Chief of Iron Elbow, Spirit of the Whiteboard, Waltzes with Terrible Towel, or even Chief of Leopard Letter Shredding. And for Mr. O.C., you have Chief of Iron Elbow, Spirit of Youth, Keeper of the Ragamuffins, and Man with Hard Fist and Funny Bone. Why would Pocahontas be an inappropriate Indian name for this assignment? Pocahontas doesn't tell us anything personal about yourself. While it's a pretty name, it would not be appropriate for this assignment. What? Here are some examples of some name starters. You have Chief, Lady That, Man Who, Energy Of, Ghost, Angel, The Boy That, or The Girl That. What would your name be? What makes you unique? Is it your hobby, a future occupation, some personality trait, a club you're involved in, athletics you're involved in, or a favorite sport? And again, here are those starter ideas again. And here are some examples More examples. He smiles with little recognition. To make him happy takes no ambition. He is content through most of the day until the light goes away. Bedtime makes him sad, but typically he is always glad. Independently he plays. However, he enjoys your companionship, but alone he sometimes stays. Flip, bang, explore his toys. With little attention, he'll laugh himself sick. Notice the underlining and the identification of the types of sound devices and figurative language used. And here's some examples from the class of 2013. Feel free to pause and read any of them that sound interesting. Chief fishes for money. Chief of the backfield. Ghost with long flame. One with the garden soil. Chief, knock 'em down. Nerd with abacus. The musical spirit. Singing, wind of field. Chief of sports takes a strong lead. Runs with drumsticks. Studious spiriter of the world she lives in. Class of 2014 examples. Again, pause and feel free to read any of these. Healer of God's fuzzy creatures. The long snapper of the pigskin. Sir Homer Pass. The man who weaves. Chief of the gridiron.